Welcome to the Motorhome and Caravan Show with your hosts, Shane Malpass and Jason the Motorhome Man Reynolds.
First of all, it couldn't be your fault. When this life of mine will fall, it will always be my call. Trying to throw this shade on me, like they all hate on me. Don't bring that rage on me. Why they throwing shade on me, like they ashamed of me? I thought, what age are we? It's warm outside, and we all want shine. Let you know about it in the city, cause stay in the crib this time. Whoa, got pics on the way like a vacay. Shoot photo with an AK. Got friends by my side, tryna have a great day. Then I wonder why they throw shades, yeah. But it's all on me, let them roam free like a European, yeah. See me pick up the phone like I'm tryna haul a home, starting to act like E.T., yeah. Rock them shades, now they can't see me. Tryna run away, but I'm not speedy. Need no fake, I just want what's real, and I ride that way till I'm free, yeah. Throw this shade on me, like they all hate on me. Don't bring that rage on me, no rage.
Ah! God, that outfit's worse than last week.
Don't know if you could tell what I said there, but...
You all right?
Yes, mate, you?
Yeah, we're back into lockdown, mate, aren't we?
We are. Does it feel like it?
No, not so it doesn't, does it?
Apart from the few that are furloughed, which I don't think is probably many more than last time, I don't think it does to anybody.
Well, we'll have an hour talking about it, shall we?
Yeah.
We'll find out what it means to the caravan industry. We find out what it means to the motorhome industry. More importantly, we find out what it is to the people out there and also to the campsite industry. So ask Lee any questions, get them in. Lee will be on to ask and to answer your questions, sorry. Also, we're going to have a campsite owner on. We're going to have good friend Aaron on talking about the motorhome industry. And then I think we'll finish off, mate, with a Q&A from everybody out there.
Sounds good.
And let's have a free-for-all tonight, eh?
Yeah.
Anybody wants to ask? Yeah, anybody wants to ask anything? Let's get everything answered tonight. Let's find out what's going on.
Very good.
I've got a giveaway.
What have you got?
I've got a solar panel. Do you want to win it?
Oh. Yeah, how did they work?
Oh, from the sun. I was going to announce it in Lee's slot, but Lee's thrown everything on the head tonight, and he says, do you know what? I'm going to do a caravan review tonight. I'm going to show Mark how it's done. No pressure. So he's just ruined everything. He was that impressed with the caravan he went to see the other day. He says, you want to see this? So it's going to be interesting. So, right. Anybody out there wants to win a solar panel? Here it is.
That's just him getting old, by the way.
There you go, solar panel. It's the one of the little parcely things. Let's have a look. Opens out. Yeah, you can put it in your window. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
And what's that used for, Jason?
What do you think it's used for?
I'm just making sure that you tell everybody out there.
It's used for charging your battery up.
Leisure or...
No,
vehicle.
to be honest, it's more that you put it in your window, in your cab window, you hook it up to your vehicle battery, it just trickle charges your battery, basically.
You hook it up, do you?
Hook it up, basically. Hook it up. Right, if you want to win my little solar, here's the question. And our good friend Aaron is going to pick the winner at the end of the show. So, Aaron, make some notes. If you owned setting up a solar panel company, what would you call it? if you owned a solar panel company, what would you call it? Yeah.
There's some good answers last week, wasn't there?
Yeah. There's been good answers every week, mate.
Yeah. There's some that you look at and you just,
Yeah. So if you want to win that little solar suitcase, if you owned a solar panel company, what would you call the solar panel company? Okay. Right, let's get going. Let's bring Mark up.
Evening.
Morning.
You all right?
Lockdown, mate. What does it mean to you? How are you treating lockdown?
Yeah, so we're back to square one again, it feels almost, doesn't it? I think we've had, obviously, we shut down end of March originally, and we didn't know what was going to happen then. But we've now got a sort of idea of, well, actually, we survived it last time. Everything was pretty good. It went absolutely mental. So now we need to just regroup, get on top of everything. It gives us a chance to restock, which probably the last lockdown, we didn't know what was going to happen. So everyone was sort of, oh, do we buy stock or don't we buy stock? Or is it just going to carry on? Are we going to come out of lockdown? But I think we've learned from the past. We've had one of our best years, even with losing the end of March, all of April, majority of May, and obviously now November. We just hit the ground, and you'll be the same. It just hasn't stopped, does it? It's just been absolutely relentless. And I think all sides of it, with the new, used, motorhomes, caravans, I think it's all been the same across the board. So now it actually gives us a chance to sort of try and regain everything and sort of get back on top of everything. We've been having vans in. We've not been able to touch them. We've not been able to clean them. We've not been able to get them to a usual standard to put on sale, and they've been selling before we can even do anything. So we've got stock still sat here now where we sort of actually we can use this time now. We're normally quiet now in December.
Mark, let's face it, we've been lucky boys, haven't we?
Very.
I think what's happened with this lockdown now, it's given us all a chance to regroup again in our little industry, hasn't it?
Yeah. I think we're a little bit wiser now from what we were the first lockdown, because like I say, we were sat there and it could have gone one of two ways. It was literally, well, I hope everything's going to go okay. And if you look back at the first original shows, we were sat there and we're sort of, well, we think that it should be good, and luckily for all of us, it's been absolutely phenomenal.
One thing there, though, mate, that needs to kick this off and keep it going is we need the campsites open as well, don't we?
Yes, yeah. If they're not open, it's going to be the last thing on your mind, isn't it? But again, a lot of people now are looking at the vans normally to put them away for winter. I know that we'd said I think people are going to use the vans through the winter this year, and campsites are going to stay open throughout. But obviously, that's all been put to a stop now, hasn't it? So,
have you seen the comments coming up for the solar names? Solar, so good.
Come on, someone's got to have a good answer.
Oh, so good. Yeah, it's a big chain though, mate, isn't it? Stocking wise with caravans, we need the manufacturers to get the new models out, don't you think?
Yeah. Well, Bailey have announced that they're going to stay open this time, because again, I think the manufacturers last time were sat there and going, well, we don't know what's going to happen. We're not going to sit there and produce a load of caravans if no one's going to buy them. Bailey have announced that they're going to stay open this time, haven't they? I think I don't want to step on Shane's toes. I think Bailey had brought out some news this week, hadn't they, about dealers?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, from what I've seen compared to some of the manufacturers, the British ones, they've been quite proactive in getting the new models and everything out.
It's about time, we should.
Yeah, whereas there's a few others that have been very slow to reacting. Was it Swift that never really started production again until September?
Yeah, it was late.
In September, really October. I mean, they need the catch up to get through them. But Personally, I think the manufacturers have let a lot of dealers down with not producing. Heavily let them down.
I know that a lot of new dealers have forward ordered a lot of stock. They've sort of gone with the view of we're going to have a boom year next year. We're going to order a lot more stock than we have. We don't want to be in this situation where we've got nothing to sell. Pretty much all the 2020 models now have gone. There's a few bits and pieces on the ground, but not a lot. So I think new dealers have sort of looked at it and go, well, actually, we need to forward order and not be in this position next year. I think even if they come out with a vaccine and things, it's still going to be a long time we get to any sort of normal, isn't it?
No, so, without a doubt. I mean, it's we've got Danny here from P&P Campers. Good evening, Daniel. Like you said, I think this is what everybody's aiming for. Dealers, motorhomes, and caravans is just get that those stock levels back up.
Yeah.
Are there stock levels out there?
Well, we're all waiting for the new stuff, really, aren't we? Because there's a lot of that are going to upgrade to new stuff, but without the new stuff being there, which could be as late as March, April, May, they ain't going to get them back in.
A lot of dealers now are saying, if you want to put your caravan in part exchange, we actually want your part exchange now. We want it to sell, and a lot of dealers have took that view and said, and that's people are going to. How do you look at that? How do you sort of turn around and say, well, I'm going to give my van up now, but I'm not going to get my new one till March? You've lost. If you wanted to sort of go away New Year, if things change, and then start of the year, how
I think that's a little bit naughty, Mark, don't you?
It is really.
Let's face it. Would you expect that caravan now if you were doing a part X?
I would probably, if from a dealer's from a business point of view, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, it is. But is it the right way?
Probably not. But again, if you're the customer, you've got to make that decision, and you've either got to turn around and say, yeah, okay, or well, no, actually, I'm going to use the van, because there are quite a few people that turn around and say, well, I'm not going to use it till March, to be fair.
Yes.
So no problem with that. I'll save on the storage. It's not going to be on the drive, etc. I've not got to think about a service come January, February. So it's everyone's different again, isn't it? But if you're going to use it, then that's not very good. But from a dealer's point of view, we want the stock.
Yeah, so I guess as you say, from a dealer's point of view, you've got to ask the question because you need the stock.
Yeah.
Whether it's suitable for the customer, that's a different question. But as you say, if they're not going to use it December, January, February, to wait until March, it's neither here or there. They might as well just get the money in.
And I think if it was me and we were doing new, I would possibly be saying that. I'd be saying I want your part exchange in now. If people don't want to do that, then fair enough. But I would be asking that question, and then it's obviously up to the customer and how they want to go about that then.
Available today, Mark, how do you get a certainty on the PX price, part exchange price?
We'll give them a value subject to condition, subject to damp, and then when it comes in, we'll go through it, check it all over, and make sure it's as it should be. And then obviously if there's major damp, major issues, we've got to readjust the price. We had a motorhome coming actually just before we closed down on the Tuesday. It actually had somebody go through it and they'd says, oh yeah, there's no damp whatsoever. We've gone through it and there's sort of a fair bit of damp in there, so we've had to readjust the price. And again, the customer was then we've gone through it and said, look, there's this readings here, here's the damp meter, you look at it yourself, and then we've had to readjust the price, and that's how a lot of dealers sort of work throughout the industry.
Yeah. So if you were pricing a van for a new van to be delivered in March, how do you do the PX value for then?
See, now it's not an issue, is it? Because we're going to look and we go, prices aren't going to change within the next 6 months. They're only if they're going to go any way, it's going to be up. Whereas previously, that was another reason that we used to do new many years ago, to say we can only guarantee your part exchange price today if we're getting the van today. If in March we've had 2 book values, guide values, and they've devalued by £600, we've got to change the price when that comes in, because we can't stand to lose £600 on every part exchange value that we've given. So again, we're in a different situation now where prices aren't going to go down; they're only going to go up. So,
mate, we could go on about this for all night long, couldn't we? Really? So, right. So let's move on, mate. We'll see you in the next part where it's a Q&A where anybody can get the questions in, and I'll speak to you in a bit more.
See you in a bit.
All right, mate. It's a massive topic here, mate, where we can go on and on and on, can't we?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bit of a long one tonight, but it'll be interesting to get all the views.
Yeah, so get your answers in towards the end. If you want to win my solar panel, what would you call your solar panel company? And there's been some great answers coming in, Shane.
I haven't seen too many of them, but I've seen one or two that look very good, to be fair.
Right, good friend of ours, Shane. He probably buys more camper vans a week than most people do.
Yep.
Let's bring that on, mate.
Good evening.
Evening. We've got Aaron from camperbuyer.com. He probably buys more camper vans than most companies do in the country. And first question, mate. How was it before the lockdown started?
How was it before?
This lockdown.
It was crazy, let's face it. It was unprecedented. The market just went through the roof. And I've never seen anything like it. Because we sell primarily to the trade, and there was these dealers just so desperate for stock. They've got empty forecourts, and we had dealers offering to pay £50,000 to my account just to show that they're genuine. Getting calls constantly, just so desperate for stock. It's because the prices they were achieving were just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And the reason for that is because there was a lack of stock out there. It's with Europe shut, the only option you've got is the holiday here, staycation. So that's a motorhome and a caravan. So that's what drove the market to where it was, which is still at now. It is still crazy now, even approaching Christmas when it's normally quite quiet. But the problem is still there. It's just obtaining the stock. I've seen pictures of dealers' forecourts that are normally packed to the rafters, empty, just absolutely empty, which is tough for a dealership because customers like choice. And it's the thing with a empty pub car park. You're just saying, I don't really want to go in there because no one's in there. It's the same thing with, if you go into a dealership and they've only got 10 motorhomes and they've normally got 100, it's quite off-putting. It is quite.
Would you have thought anything like this, Aaron?
No. Never in a billion years.
Can you remember our little conversation we had live a few months back?
We had the first, and it was just, no one could predict it. No one they just couldn't have done this.
but not quite this.
In January, February, you just would have bought the world, wouldn't you? You just would have stocked up. But,
yeah, I mean, there was a point just before, and I think we thought at the time we did well to get out of what we did.
No,
but
I know.
It happens now. If we'd have kept hold of it, everything's gone up.
I know. It is crazy. It's going for. It's just crazy the prices what they're going for. It's absolutely crazy. But it's unsustainable. It can't carry on like that. You just can't. It's calmed down in the last couple of weeks prior to this lockdown. And
do you not just a quickie, Alan? Do you not look at what some of the prices are and thinking, I'm not paying that money for it?
No, you can't. It's there's going to be dealers there. If the market does drop, they're going to get unstuck because they paid far too much. But then you've got to understand that they've got bills to pay, they've got wages to pay. So even if they're making a smaller margin, it's better off buying something rather than nothing. You've got to, even if you just, you've got to that stock has got to be coming in, and you've got to fill that forecourt. So you're paying crazy prices because things are selling for crazy prices. But that's trickled through to the public, and so a lot of the public now think their motorhome is worth crazy money.
What's your thought with this lockdown now?
It's not the same as before. It is not.
It's a semi-lockdown, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I went into London today, and you wouldn't believe there was a lockdown. It was, it was really, really busy. It was a typical Sunday. You just wouldn't believe there was a lockdown. And but the thing is, with this lockdown, people know that in the first lockdown, the world didn't come to an end. They knew that there was life at the end of it, and so you just got to get through this. It doesn't feel the same. I think people's attitude is totally different this time. I remember the first couple of days of the lockdown, the streets were completely empty, and now it doesn't. I don't feel any difference whatsoever. The only difference is the shops are shut. Just don't feel any different.
Yeah, and to be fair, I'll probably say I do most of my shopping online anyway, so I haven't noticed that at all.
No, it is. It's crazy times, but like I say, none of us could have predicted how it went. It literally was crazy.
How, just before the lockdown, were you buying many, or was it slowing down, or how was it going?
Well, before the first lockdown or second?
The second one, mate.
Yeah, everything we was buying sold. I mean, the engines weren't even cooled down before they got sold. They were sold while they were on the journey back to the premises. But it's just finding that stock. It was just finding that stock. We're all in a similar business. We're all fighting for the same stock, and that's the difficulty. And also, you've got to understand that it was the only option for people to go on holiday. It was for a long time. It was the only option. As soon as the caravan sites open, that's it. Let's go away. Especially in the middle of this crisis, people want escapism. They want, let's just buy a motor. Let's just go away somewhere. Let's put this behind us. And it is going to continue like that for a while. Whilst Europe is still, I know it's not shut, but people are nervous about going to anywhere because they could be halfway through a holiday and then be told within 1 day's notice that they're going to have to quarantine when they get back. And
I mean, you've also got the outside chance that when the vaccines do start getting rolled out, that people are still going to be sceptical about getting on planes, and they're probably going to then start buying motorhomes to go abroad. I think you're at least a year away from prices dropping.
They can't go up anymore. They can't.
No.
They just can't. I think they will come down slightly, and then. But also, you've got a lot of people. This is their first taste of a motorhome, and they love it. So they'll be upgrading. They'll be. I think the market's going to be strong. I think it will continue to be strong. It's not going to be crazy like it is, but I think it will always continue to be strong. People discover places in the UK that they've never experienced before. There's places in Cornwall and Snowdonia. They're going to think, "Wow, I didn't know all these places existed in this country." I think the market will be fine. The market, but it can't go up any higher. The prices of motorhomes.
I don't think. I think the problem you've got, the thing is with the motorhome and caravan, it's the perfect isolation.
It is. No, it is. Yeah, it is. It's designed for social distancing. I mean, campsites, you've got the fire regulations where you have to be 6 meters away from each other or something. So it is perfect. It is absolutely perfect. It's designed for that. And you've got to think, if you're of the kind of position we're quite nervous about it, even when a vaccine comes in, the thought of being cooped up on a plane with 300 people, if you're really nervous about catching it, if you're nervous about, some people, this virus has affected people in so many different ways, and some people will never get over this, even when there is a vaccine. But those type of people, they wouldn't want to be on a plane with 300 people, so the only option for them to go away is, B&Bs or a motor. So I think this coronavirus, there's going to be a whole wave of people that have newly discovered the leisure industry in motorhome and caravan, which is going to be a good thing. There's also going to be lots of people that will rather be on Benidorm sunning themselves on the beach, and they will go back to that. But,
well, let's face it, even if we only keep 50% of them.
No, it's going to be, the leisure market will be fine, absolutely fine. It will, because if we got through the first one, like we did, this is going to be a walk in the park. It's not.
We just need the new vehicles coming onto the market, though, don't we?
Yes, and it's all about stock. You need stock out there. You need, this. You do. I mean, this is supply and demand, and the reason prices have gone up so much because the supply is not there. It's just not there. And I don't think it's going to be there for a while.
What would you say then, before lockdown, when you're buying vans to now? What's your ratio now to what you're buying?
I keep asking you, with lockdown 1 or 2?
This in between.
In between,
yeah.
We were down. I'd say we were down 30% on volume.
Right.
But you kind of like made that up because of the prices are going crazy. So you can charge a little bit more, and so financially, it didn't impact on us too harshly, and like I say, the motorhomes that we did buy got sold straight away for good money. But yeah. So, I think there's going to be a lack of stock for a good few months, but the market's going to be buoyant. I actually don't think the market's going to drop at all.
It's a bit like this, Aaron, here. Rob B's commented, a van that was 18k before lockdown and now being advertised for 25k. He's right there, isn't he? I do notice on the forums when someone's privately advertising a motorhome, because I see it all the time. They've got like a 2004 Auto People Nouveau that would normally sell for privately for about £16,000, and they're asking 27. And I just get absolutely shot down with the comments saying, "Oh, this just taking advantage of people." But at the end of the day, people just jumping on the bandwagon and trying to, there's a degree of greed out there, but if no one, don't buy it. If you want to buy it. But
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for the people on the forums who have been saying, "Oh, wait until the winter when everything crashes and the prices come falling down." Yeah, all right.
It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Even when a vaccine comes in, it's not going to happen. It's just they're going to come down to a degree because it's crazy at the moment. But there will still be achieving really.
Here's a thought for you then, Aaron. Here's a thought. If you were buying a motorhome now, would it be better to buy a brand new one than a second-hand one?
Would it be better to buy a brand new one?
Price wise,
it would be. Some of the second-hand ones are getting very, very, very close to how much it costs for a brand new one. It really, really is. I mean, I always recommend a brand that doesn't depreciate, like your Auto Sleepers and the likes of that, and also a desirable layout like a fixed bed.
But the point is, Alan, though, we get into them levels where it'd be more beneficial for the buyer to actually buy a brand new one than actually overpay on a used one.
The problem is though, you can't get a new one. So yes, I mean, as we know, you look at what a price of a new one was 10 years ago and what they are now. They're 20 grand more. So motorhomes aren't a bad investment because everything just goes up 3 grand probably a year.
And how do you price your sanity? Because you're paying over the odds. This is a crazy time, but you want to get away with the family. You want to take your family away for a holiday. Okay, you're paying. You're probably having to hold your nose when you sign the check or you sign a finance agreement. But okay, it's.
But I mean, Is it overpriced or is it just what they are now? Because by the time that we do get back to new stuff coming through, you're talking probably 2 years of a bit of a backlog for new stock, and then they've probably gone up 6 grand in that period. Things are overpriced.
I've seen the things that I've seen 1998 Heimers sell on eBay for £21,000. I mean, that's before we'd be paying what £13,000 or something like that. It's just crazy. It is just crazy.
Aaron, are you going to stick around and
I am.
the winner of my soul?
There's a couple of solar names coming up. I want cheesy. I want really, really.
Okay, so right, if you want to,
we're not actually setting up a business here. We are just like so far. I haven't gone through all of them, but so far it's So Good. Tow and Glow and Bring Me Sunshine, but I need cheesy in there. Honest, you can borderline rude, risque. Just come on. We're not.
He wants cheesy. He wants borderline, and also we're going to do a Q. we're going to do a Q&A at the end. So anything, use his brain, mate. Everybody out there, if you want to know anything about motorhomes, later on in the Q&A, I'll answer any questions you want to put up. See you in a bit, mate.
Bye.
In a bit.
It's going to be a long one.
It is.
Come on, Lee.
We got under an hour last week.
I know. Come on, Lee.
I know. Let me just make sure he's awake. Oh, yeah, there he is.
Have we got any questions for Lee, John? My question is about smart chargers. Chekhovs, do a 5, a 7, a 10. How do I decide which one suits me? Tony Fox.
I'm assuming he means 5 amp charge, 7 amp charger, and a 10 amp charger. I use a 10 amp charger. I have a charger in the workshop which I use to charge my batteries up. I use a 10 amp charger. They're normally good for batteries between, I think, around about 85 amp hour to about 135 amp hour. You could use 5 and 7s, but they will charge the battery up a lot slower. So I use a 10, charge it up, not too fast, but it's just nice.
Okay. Anything else? What do you think is better for connecting a 200 amp leisure batteries in a series or parallel? Derek.
Parallel. Reason being, series, you'll get an increase in voltage, but you won't get an increase in amp hour. With parallel, you'll get an increase in capacity, so you'll get more amp hour as well.
Okay. Any more? John?
3. He said 3. What does 3 mean?
I'm waiting for him to put the other question up. John?
Here we go.
Got to read how many camper vans are stolen. What's the situation reference trackers? Do they come as standard and put into the bodywork of the camper at manufacturing stage? Why no fit better trackers? Anthony?
I'm not sure whether they are fit as standard.
No, you don't. With motorhomes, you don't even get an alarm fit as standard a lot of the time, let alone trackers. I guess because it gives you... I really don't know. I mean, just, a Peugeot brand, for example, won't come with an alarm, and it certainly won't come with a tracker. It's always an aftermarket fit.
Just one thing on that. I was talking to my old boss recently, and he's had his tracker was due for renewal, and the actual cost of his annual subscription for the tracker actually worked out more than his increase in insurance for not having it. So he said, if someone's stolen my van, he said, I don't really want it back. He said, so really, I'd rather, pay a little bit on me more insurance, and I'm still saving because I'm not paying that for the tracker.
Because it's probably £300 a year, something like that.
Yeah, it's got to be, yeah.
For the tracker. I mean, just going back to that question as well, you do see a lot more getting stolen now, but there's also a hell of a lot more social media. Yeah. So every single one that you do see that is stolen, you pretty much will guarantee to see it on the forums.
Anything else? Just brought a caravan. It has been serviced. Will I have to have it serviced again in spring or a year from now?
I'm not Mark, but I can answer that. If it's been serviced for warranty, it all depends on your warranty grace periods. A van under warranty will have a certain amount of time, which have all been extended for this year. For 2021, all the manufacturers are planning to bring it back in line. So, for example, if you bought a van in April or May, and it was due April or May of this year, and you've just had it done because of the lockdown, it will be due again April and May of next year to try and bring it back in line. But that is all dependent on how the COVID situation carries on.
So, we're going to talk about batteries, but you ruined everything and wanted to do a caravan review.
Oh, mate, I couldn't believe it.
I cannot believe it.
Now, listen, I'm the first to admit, right, that I'm not a fan of Baileys.
Come on.
I make no secret of they do some nice layouts and whatnot, but Baileys just aren't a van of choice for me. But then I saw this the other day, and I was shocked. Little Bailey Discovery. This is the smallest one of the range.
It's a bit like a base camp, isn't it?
It's a bit like a base camp. Now, if you look at it from the back, it looks like a horse box. But to be fair, I looked at that and I'm thinking, what use is that thing going to be? All right, yeah, I spotted the A-frame at the front. That's ideal for putting a bike rack on. But then I went in through the door and I thought, what a little TARDIS this is. You've got nearly 200 kilos of load. So you've got plenty of room to put a bike on. And now, the shocking thing, these people had come from folding camper and getting a bit older and decided they were going to have a caravan, didn't want to go anything massive, so decided to go with this. And then I walked inside it, and I really expected it to be just a completely, really basic layout. And yes, all right, that's a 2019 model, because it was its first service. And that was 16 grand. Now, you go in it, it's got a relatively decent sized shower room for a caravan of that size, especially. You've got your cooker, through-in cooker, hob and grill, sink, 3-way fridge, and those seats in there, the middle pit slides out to make it into a double, but they're also long enough that you can sleep on them as a single if you wanted to, rather than make them up into a bed. Nice little wardrobe space behind, alongside the shower. It really is a cracking little van for someone who's just coming from tenting or trailer tenting into caravanning and just wants to get little weekend breaks away. That, I thought personally, was a cracking little van.
Now, folks, when somebody who services vans every single day of the week for a job and they turn around and say a van's good, you listen to them. Like when Shane says it, or if Aaron says it, and when Lee says it, you listen to them, because I bet that looks a nice van.
Honestly, I couldn't believe it. The minute he opened the door and I looked inside and I said, do you mind if I take some pictures of this? And he was like, yeah, why? And I told him, and he was like, yeah, go ahead. And I said that, and I said to him, I said, look, I'm not a fan of Bailey's, and I told him why. And you know, it hasn't got the roof strap on for a start, so you're not going to have that roof strap leak that you get on the normal ones. But you know, I serviced 2 Baileys last week, right? Both of them were a first service. One was that, and the other one was Motorhome, right? 65 grand, I think he said he paid for it. Damp.
We've got a question coming, John. John? Lee, just saw my motorhome. Any use starting it up on the drive and stuff, taking for a run, or leave it as it is? You're not going to win with the cancer, mate.
No. If it's one of those, isn't it, really? If your best bet is to be just monitoring your batteries, really, and top them up, keep them topped up. If you're going to start the van up, you need to take it for a run. You can't just start it up on the drive and leave it. You're going to have to leave it for 20 minutes, half an hour at least. I just monitor the batteries. If I'm not going to take it out, just monitor the batteries and keep them topped up over winter.
We've got another one for you, mate.
Busy night tonight.
It is. Shane, 696 Safari, what do you or Lee think has just brought one new? Zoom wheels, Brian?
Okay, so I'll start. So, roller teams of heroes. They're based on the Ford, aren't they? Jason's got carried away again. Yeah, so they're based on the Ford.
Lily's cleaning the hamsters out.
What? I'm not cleaning.
Right, sorry.
What? What, Dad? What are you on about?
Sorry, Shane.
That's right. So the roller teams of heroes, they are the more entry range of the roller teams, even though they're not massively expensive overall. They come in at just under 50,000, but they've got some really nice layouts. and they're quite affordable. Generally, they don't tend to drop value, really, do they, Jason? I don't know if you've had many of them.
No.
The roller teams? No.
It's that continental thing again, though, isn't it? The roller teams, the chassons, the rapidos, they're just bloody good vans, aren't they?
They are for the money. I mean, these tend to come in cheaper than the all of them, the chassons, the Benimars and everything, but they do everything you want them to. I mean, have you come across the roller teams much, Lee?
Yeah, but I do a few. I do find that a lot of the roller teams that I've done they're almost an identical version of a baler.
Have you seen that, Aaron?
I like that. They're very much like it.
Lots of comments online about Sikaflex being too permanent. I'm a newbie with a 16-year-old motorhome. Mark England.
Leaky skylight. The best thing to do with a leaky skylight is remove it and rebed it. Use a bedding mastic and bed it back on.
And clean everywhere up, mate, as well.
Yeah. Sikaflex tends to be more of a permanent thing, and if you want to get it off, you're going to have a nightmare. A proper bedding mastic is better.
Yeah. More importantly, though, as well, is making sure everything's clean before you rebed.
Oh, yeah, massively.
Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people miss. They think just take it off,
take it off.
Yeah.
You've got to get all the old stuff off, get all the old adhesives off, clean it all up, and then you've got to make sure. I mean, I've stopped doing outside roof light repairs and things like that. You only need a bit of rain, and could damage the integrity of the seal. So, anything like that's in the workshop.
All right, mate. We'll see you shortly, eh?
You might do.
All right. See you in a bit. Cheers, mate.
Right a bit.
Okay, if you want to win a solar panel off me, if you had a solar panel company, what would you call it? We've had some great ones coming in, haven't we?
I didn't know what you were laughing at a second ago until I looked across.
It just came up, it just tickled me. Let's have a bit of light relief. John, take us somewhere in this country.
Jason wants a bit of light relief.
A light relief, there. This will cheer anybody up. Look at it. Look at this bad boy. Or bad girl, wherever you want to pay it. Look at that.
Where are you taking us today, mate?
Today, we are going up to your neck of the woods. We're heading to Shropshire. So let me just find the video, unless Shane's already on it. But let's have a look and run VT.
Right.
In tonight's episode, we're heading to Shropshire. And we have 3 amazing attractions for you to visit. First of all, we head to RAF Museum, Cosford. Although the exhibit is closed at the moment due to COVID, there's plenty to see and do. Explore the National Cold War exhibition. Take a walk around the test flight area, where most of the exhibits were produced in secrecy. The RAF Stories exhibition is a display that showcases the diversity and history of the RAF. There are many aircraft out on display outside for you to visit as well. As we leave RAF Cosford, we head north to Hawkstone Park. Car parking is free at Hawkstone Park, but sensible footwear and outdoor clothing is essential. Explore the walks and trails, have a look at the follies and the arboretum. On a clear day, you can gaze over 7 counties. Hawkstone Park Golf Club is also on the estate, so why not relax and take in a few holes? Fancy something faster paced? Then Hawkstone Park also hosts a number of international and local motocross events. As we leave Hawkstone Park, we head to the small market town of Wem. Take a walk down the high street visiting the local shops. Explore the historic buildings in Wem that were built in the 16 and 1700s. Each year, Wem holds a traditional town carnival which is held on the first Saturday of September. Just on the outskirts of Wem is Lower Laken Caravan Park, your ideal place to stay when visiting the area. I'll tell you what, just quickly, I'm getting a lot of love in the chat for the shirt tonight. I think this one is now one of my new favourites. It is loud, just like we like it. I've got to be honest, I will come back to the video in a second, but we've had quite a serious show tonight, and I think a little bit of lightness needs to come in.
Okay. Well, I know that.
But RAF Cosford, I've seen a few people already in the chat saying, wow, what a place. And I have not been, but I have been recommended it a number of times. The next time, once COVID's over and it's open again, is to get our family up there and spend the day up there. It looks absolutely amazing. And the best bit is free. How can you complain at that? You do need to book, especially, like I say, once they're planning on reopening in December. But I mean, you can have a wander around and look at that. I mean, there's planes absolutely everywhere. This is the test flight area, and this is actually reading about this on their website. They would just generally build up planes out of bits that they had lying around, and then send somebody out to try it out.
It does look a great
amazing,
place.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, I mean, it's on your doorstep. Have you been?
No. Oh. But it's on the list now.
Yeah.
Then this is what you give to us, John.
Exactly. I found this absolutely fascinating. Those little Percy and Twinkaloos, they're Lucky Charms. Pilots used to have their own Lucky Charms that they would take away with them, and that's that. They've now got these. They've got over, I think it was over 100 little exhibition things now that they've been able to find and put into this museum. Honestly, really looks like a proper good day out. And this bit would probably interest me the most. They're actually still building aircraft there and restoring aircraft, and you can go around and look at aircraft mid restoration. How cool is that?
That'd be good.
Yeah. And it's free, proper day out, and something worthwhile doing. But again, not a million miles away from there. And to be honest, this was recommended by yourself, Jason. There we go. Yeah, I was going to say, they do have a load of different festivals throughout the year, but obviously this year a lot of it's being cancelled, unfortunately. But fingers crossed, we're going to all get back to normal soon enough, and you'll be able to get up there if you're in the area. If you've not been, then get up there. The next place was recommended by Jason, and this is Hawkstone Park. And I'm just going to put this picture up. Look at that view. It's absolutely amazing. It's huge as well. I didn't realize how big the site was. And again, Jason, you could probably tell us a little bit more about this place because you have been.
Well, I can actually vouch how big that walk is because we had a slight hiccup.
Yeah.
We all went down and there was, they were having a jousting and fighting and battle thing going on.
Yeah.
And we got there and it wasn't on for about 2 hours. So I said, let's go and do the walk where you walk all the way around. What I didn't realise, it took us 4 hours. I was not a popular person at the end of it. We missed all the events. We missed everything. And also got 4 hours.
A good 4 hour walk.
Nearly there.
Yeah.
I got 3.5 hours of earache.
What would appeal to me is the
Mate,
is
it was
the
only,
motocross.
only 3.5 hours.
It's stunning. On its shade, it's stunning, mate. It's honestly, it's a stunning walk. It really is. And just that, even that one picture that John's shown, it doesn't do it justice. Hawkstone Park's a great place to go and visit. It really is.
As I just said, what would appeal to me is the motocross up there, and to be able to get out in the countryside, watch some amazing riders, blatting it around a decent course. Yeah, looks like it. Again, you could make a whole day of it, whether or not there's something going on or not. You could quite easily spend the whole day up there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So from there, we head over to this little village town of Wem, which again you must know really quite well.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
I mean, I found
Why
it
do I
fascinating.
feel as I've been set up here?
You're not being set up. You're not being set up. No, I'm not. There is no setup. It's just the area that I looked at tonight, and I've got to be honest, it was mainly because of the RAF museum. And then I spoke to you, and you said, "Oh yeah, look at Hawkstone." And then while looking around the area, I then found Wem, which is really close to obviously where you work. But look at some of the buildings they've got there. I mean, they look fantastic. And again, going back to the 16th, 17th century. But not only that, and I really do hope, but have you been to the festival? To the carnival? Sorry, the Wem Carnival.
It's the proper old school. And we're going to speak to somebody who actually helps to organise that as well.
Yeah. I mean, look.
It's brilliant.
There's a guy on a penny. Yeah, there's a guy on a penny farthing. It's how cool is that? That just made my day. There was loads of floats as well. You could see there was loads. There's a lot of information about it on the first Saturday in September each year.
They go around at 2 o'clock. And then it's 7 o'clock. They go around again, but they've got all the music and all the lights going. Proper old school. It's brilliant.
And this, I mean, this picture as well. I mean, that fun fair looks huge. It looks proper. Yeah. Again, it's one of those, if you were planning your weekend or a long weekend in that area, you could quite easily have a day at the RAF museum. You could quite happily have a day probably at Wem for the carnival, and then the following day, nice little relaxing walk up to Hawkstone. Yeah,
but why are we going to stop?
Well, for that, now normally I would talk about campsites, and it's just with everything that's going on, campsites are closed. So what I thought about doing was getting the owner of a campsite on to tell us about it, and how's it been between lockdown, and how's his thoughts now going forward into the next lockdown. So
John, that's a great idea.
Thank you. It's almost as if we planned it. Right, John, anyway, let's bring Robert on. Oh, Shane, I've done that. Hello.
Hi there.
Here's a friend of the show.
Yeah, just a quickie. Rob, you have a lot involved with that carnival, don't you?
Yes. The father was the chairman of the committee, so I've been marshalling for many years, and other members of the family also. Great day.
It does look like it. I mean, obviously we've got down our neck of the woods, we have what's called Marlborough Mop. So there's a little town called Marlborough, and again, once a year they have a big carnival with floats and that going through. But it looked the Wem one looked equally as good. Everybody put in a lot of effort into making a special day for everybody who's turning up.
Yeah, you get sort of some massive floats that they've spent lots and lots of time on, down to just the little kids dressed up, walking around as a Frozen or something. So you get the full mix of everything. It is good.
So, Rob, you own and run Lower Lacon. I always say it wrong. Is it Lacon or Lacon?
Lacon.
Lower Lacon Park. So let's just have a quick look at a few pitches here. How many pitches do you have? How many people can you have on site?
We've got 270 touring pitches.
Wow. All with electric hookup? Do you take tents as well?
Yeah, the main of those are electric hookups. Most tents nowadays want electric anyway, but we have got non-electric spaces. Not that we use those this year.
I see you have a swimming pool as well.
Yeah, it doesn't look quite so good when it's got to winter.
But how have you found it? Obviously we spoke to you at the beginning of the year. I think just before we were going into lockdown, wasn't it? Because I remember you said you had to put special measures into place for the bars and the restaurants that you've got on site.
Yeah, I can't remember. Remember what day, when we were talking, but it's been a funny year, hasn't it? Obviously, so when we reopened, we didn't do non-electrics. We limited it to the electrics, mainly because the two-sided thing. I wanted to maximise the profit we could make out of what we've got because we're limiting the numbers. So you only want to keep the bigger pitches going, but also you want to minimise the strain on the toilet blocks and everything because we opened everything up sort of with the various measures in place, but we opened it up straight away so we wanted to, if they could use their own toilets, they can, but if they can't, they could use ours.
Yep. And how have you found the last sort of, between lockdown, that period between lockdown? Have you been busy? Yeah,
it sort of trade overall was obviously up because everybody was sort of squeezing their holidays into, I think I looked at it in August, and for that sort of period, we were like 40% up. But on the year, we're still obviously down. I looked at, because somebody told me I was going to be on this tonight, so I looked up the numbers. And on the year, from sort of 8th of March to 8th of November, we were actually down by about 20%. So it was nowhere near as bad as I was expecting, but that's only taking into account the touring side. Where we've got bars and catering on site, they've had a terrible year because people just aren't coming out to use them.
That's not a bad hit, mate, considering, is it, the 20%?
No, not at all.
But then you've just hit the nail on the head. Then you've also got the extras, such as your bar and your food and everything else, haven't you?
Yeah, that's the area that you make more profit normally.
And then you lost your fireworks as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I decided to pull the plug on them because you spend so much on fireworks. Yes, you're making pitch fee, but actual cost of fireworks to people, if only 50% of them turned up, and we were still open at this point, because it should have been yesterday, you'd have lost money anyway. So it's like financially, it felt like we were heading towards another lockdown or a local lockdown, because it might have been that we were locked down or the customers were locked down. So because the numbers were looking less, we pulled the plug on that with all the events that we've got sort of winter-wise. We're sort of not on the head. So no carnival in Wen this year. We'd have had carnival at the end of would have had carnival at the end of the summer holidays. For us, we did a tiny beer festival, literally a couple of beers, just in case anybody wanted to come along anyway, which would normally have like 10, 12 beers from local and far afield. We've got no Christmas party, no New Year's party. It's just, with the numbers you've allowed, it's just not worth it, and it's not necessarily safe. So I did have the strangest review I had this year. Somebody gave me, I think it was about 4-star, 5-star review, said they had a wonderful time, didn't use the bars, didn't use the catering, didn't use the shop, didn't use the toilets, but it was a great park. And you're thinking, well, he hasn't used much, but as you said earlier, this is the ideal social isolation.
Yeah.
So it's been a funny year.
I almost the caravan place. Mark has put up a question, and I almost you could go over that. Are you taking bookings for next year? But in addition to that, what are your plans? Are you already starting to plan for next year now?
Yeah, you've got to always look forward. I'm not planning on at the moment not having artists and things. We invested a load in outdoor sort of tables, picnic benches, so that the people that didn't want to go into the bars could still come outside. The sort of table service, that's a bit harder because you've got to have more staff actually working to do table service well. It's like we can all do table service badly, but then who wants to go to a pub like that? So it's thinking more outdoor than indoors, and that's just going to be the way it's going to go.
Is that how you see the future, Rob?
Sorry?
How do you see the future then?
Well, I would have, as you were saying earlier, I would have expected the custom to go up generally, because people don't even look at going camping and don't realise what wonderful things we've got around. It's like you say about Hawkston, not like this year, a couple of years ago, I think it was, I went to Hawkston for my birthday. So me and the wife, I need to exercise more. So that's actually what I did for my birthday. I went round Hawkston. And it's like, it's a great place, same as the museum. We've got lots of wonderful things in England. It's like towns around us. We've also got Shrewsbury, that's a wonderful historic town. You've got Ivage Gorge, that's got lots of historic things to look at around there. You've got loads of things.
I think Ellesmere's a beautiful place as well, Rob.
Yeah, another one. And there's loads of these all over the UK. There's lots of things. And buying the motorhome or the tour, or whatever, even down to the tent, people are finding stuff, which we've got people that have never done it before. And they're sort of coming into our side of the leisure industry, that they normally have their package thing, and realise that actually Britain's quite beautiful.
I think that's what I'm trying to do in my little section on the show here, is take people around places around this great country of ours and just pick out a few little attractions that they may never have heard of, a few little places to go, whether it's for a nice walk with the family and the dogs, or something a bit more adventurous, and just show off this great country of ours. And there's so much to do and so much to see. It is.
We've got a wonderful country. Yes, when it's a bit miserable like it's been today, we did Remembrance Sunday. So the main of that was on a video link, so nobody was actually there, and people were laying wreaths sort of through the day. But when the sun's out, it's a different ball game. It's a wonderful country.
That's it, John. Like I say, the last few videos you've been doing, you've been showing some great places where even and Shane will vouch for me, where we've gone, yeah, I want to go there. Isn't it, Shane?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I'll continue doing it.
As we said, we don't, before this probably last year, not many people have tended to look at this country because it's been too easy to fly to Spain for a week's all-inclusive for 300 quid.
Yeah,
it's just not an option at the moment for the foreseeable.
Yeah, it's like we would normally do sort of personally one sort of holiday extended weekend UK, and then you do a week abroad. But I'm doing my week abroad in the winter when the UK is not normally doing their week abroad, because that's when I have time.
Yeah, I think it is going to be different for everybody, for all of us, especially over the next couple of months. We're not going to be able to get away in our motorhomes or our caravans, at least for the next month. We don't know what's going to happen coming into December. Plus, then we're also having this run up to Christmas. We want to see our friends and family. We all just need to be a little bit sensible. Like you guys were saying earlier, it doesn't feel like a proper lockdown again, does it? And my fear is that, is this going to have a big impact on our leisure over the Christmas period? Generally, most of us will get a couple of weeks off work, and like us, we've gone away for Christmas, or we've been here for Christmas, Boxing Day, and then we've headed off, whether or not that's down to see friends and family, or we've gone off somewhere for sort of a very long weekend. And this is what we're all banking on now and trying to keep our fingers crossed, is that we can do something towards the end of December.
But that's the thing, John. That's the key to all our industry. Shane, Mark, Aaron, Lee, I'll all vouch for, unless the campsites are open, our industry, no.
It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've
Shall
all-
we get everybody else up for a Q&A?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, Shane? Okay, if anybody wants to ask any questions, there's a lot of knowledge sitting up here, so if you want to ask everybody anything, if you've got a last few minutes to win the solar panel, so if you had a solar panel company, what would you call it? Aaron, you've been sitting in. Anything you want to bring up, mate?
No, just been enjoying the show. And so I'm looking forward to the Q&As, if I can help in any way.
I do have one question that I've seen coming up many times from Zoom Wheels Brian about insurance. Brian, best thing to do is to get onto Google, put in motorhome insurance, and then loads of companies will come up. And from previously working in insurance, and what I do every single year with my caravan insurance is phone around. Either do it on your phone or on the internet, or pick up the phone, but get as many quotes as you can. That is the best way to get the cheapest insurance. Now, cheapest isn't always best, but you'll find that the top results on Google, the first page on Google, all of those companies were going to be recommended, and shouldn't cause you any problems. There will be also, again, there'll be recommendations and certifications that insurance companies will use for their brokers. So simplest one, phone around as many as you can.
Very good answer, John.
Yeah,
thank you.
I've got something to say. John, you're doing a review of Shropshire and you asked someone from Stoke. Shropshire born and bred. And then to top it all, when? Of all the places in Shropshire, when?
Yeah, Lee, there was a connection to the caravan park.
Yeah, but the only reason Lee doesn't like it is because that's where Jason is.
But
So,
I did
come on
notice
then,
when Rob was mentioning all these other lovely places of Shropshire, he never said Whitchurch.
So, if you went to school in Wem, hang on. If you went to school in Wem, you didn't go to Whitchurch, they'd beat you up over there. They're rough.
I know.
So, Lee,
Father's Day cards in packs of 5 in Wem.
Lee, let's talk a little bit about Shropshire, because obviously you do a lot of work around Shropshire. Name some great places around there, mate.
Ironbridge, Shrewsbury's got some lovely areas. Shrewsbury, the Shropshire Hills, area of natural beauty. I work around there quite frequently. I was around there the other day. It's absolutely stunning. It's the one thing that quite frequently pops up on my Facebook feed is what I view from the office today, because it is absolutely fantastic. The follies are good. I did a mud run around the follies. That was brilliant, but it was hard work. Down into South Shropshire, going towards Ludlow. Again, absolutely stunning area. It's just Shropshire is an absolutely, and I don't say just because I live here, it is an absolutely stunning county. Definitely worth a visit.
Well, I think this is the whole thing, isn't it? There's so many places within this Great Britain of ours that we can visit, and again, this is an ideal area for our viewers to get that little. Oh, I might go there next year. Oh, I've never thought of that place. Oh, I've been there, but I never saw that attraction, and I think that's what we're trying to do. So
you've not got to go far either, have you?
No.
Well, look at me. 5 minutes around the corner.
Yeah. And I think that's sometimes the thing is that the closest attractions to you never actually go to, because they're on your doorstep. So you've not been there. Whereas you'll travel 2 hours to go somewhere. But yeah, there's a lot of places just around the corner from you a lot of the time that is worthwhile getting out, especially like say in this lockdown period, we're not allowed out. Let's plan for where we can go when we can get out.
Yeah, little short weekends. You don't want to be going far, do you? So
no.
We have got are Bailey doing dealer specials this year?
I've not seen any yet. I've not seen any yet.
Black edition, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think that's a dealer special though, is it? I think that's just a Bailey
sorry,
special,
yeah,
is
my
it?
bad.
Yeah.
It's it'll be a Loudons, I think. No, hold on. Oh, that's a good question, actually. I'm sure they will do. They would have done them for 2020, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they probably did for 2020, whether or not. And I'd have thought possibly the dealers would have done them for 2021. There's going to be more orders, so. But I've not seen anything in specific that I could say it has or hasn't been done.
Right.
Lee,
Quick fire questions. Let's go.
Lee, got through my solar charger in a van, but only wired for leisure battery. If I wire off the second battery terminals to a vehicle battery, do I need to fuse link on it?
Yeah, put a fuse on any. There you go. Quick fire.
Okay, here's another quick fire one for you, Lee.
Blackout blinds down or up in storage, Lee?
Use your curtains.
He's an important one. John, did you keep the receipt for that shirt? If so, take it back.
No. Just quickly again on the blinds. Yeah, if you can use the curtains, but if you are going to use the blinds, try and keep them 2/3 and 1/3 so that you've got a bit of the fly net showing as well, just to allow some air to circulate when it gets warm.
What make of bedding mastic would you recommend, Lee?
I've got the one I've got to W4, I think. I'm not sure. I'd have to have a look what I've got. I just order it from a supplier, in great big rolls. So,
Aaron,
Yes.
who's won the solar?
Right. It was between Solo Gasmic. Pickle my phone. Solar so good. Bring me sunshine, but the winner is Katrina Clostier with Raise RAYS the roof.
Raise the roof.
Can you put the email up, Shane?
I can do. There we go.
So, just shout the winner out against Aaron.
It's Katrina Clostier. Clostier. CLOSIER.
Katrina, can you email at the motorhomeshow@gmail.com with your info so we can send out the solar panel? And well done. I think that's our lot tonight, isn't it?
Quick question there, Ivan Sackville.
Ivan Sackville, is there something I can put the space between the awning and the motorhome to stop the dripping?
Fiamma actually do a piece that fits in between.
Okay. Right. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll see you all next week.
See you next week.
See you next week.
See ya.